Hey everybody, today's video is called Is Human Wisdom All We Need? And today we once again step out of our pass-through study of Jeremiah, where we're going to be looking at our 13th Topical Saturday of 2024. And we're going to be focusing on a section given to us by King Solomon. And we're going to be in a book that many people think is a depressing book. But there's a lot of life truth in this book. And we're just going to look at one small little section of it. So we're going to be in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 12 through 15. Open up. It says, I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I set my heart to seek and to search out by wisdom concerning all that is done under heaven. This burdensome task God has given to the sons of man, by which they must be exercised. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and grasping for the wind. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking cannot be numbered. So these verses here, verse 12 through 15, is a reflection of the first 11 verses of the chapter, with the focus on wisdom. And then when you look at verse 16 through 18, it says, I communed with my heart, saying, Look, I have attained greatness and have gained more wisdom than all who were before me in Jerusalem. My heart has understood great wisdom and knowledge, and I have set my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is grasping for the wind. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. So human wisdom has an issue to it as it seeks explanation, while godly wisdom offers promises. And we need to know and we need to trust in the promises of God. And let's look at Colossians chapter 4. Colossians chapter 4, verse 1 through 6 says, Masters, give your bondservants what is just and fair, knowing that you also have a master in heaven. Continue earnestly in prayer, being vigilant in it with thanksgiving. Meanwhile, praying also for us, that God would open to us a door for the word, to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in chains, that I may make it manifest as I ought to speak. Walk in wisdom toward those who are outside, redeeming the time. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each one. So knowing godly wisdom allows us to display God's wisdom among those who do not know the Son of God. And I want to look at James chapter 3, verse 13. James chapter 3, verse 13 through 18. And it says here, Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, and demonic. For where is earthly, sensual, For where is envy and self-seeking exists, confusion and every evil thing are there. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. So in James, Jesus' half-brother gives us two kinds of wisdom. there is human wisdom, which isn't all that bad. Human wisdom does have some foolishness within it, but it just shouldn't be pursued on its own. We need to be seeking godly wisdom as Christians. And the problem with humanly wisdom is this. I want to look at Romans chapter 1. Romans chapter 1 verse 22 says, professing to be wise, they became fools. And you see, human wisdom, human knowledge will often lead people to doubting that there is a God. And then they fall into these other beliefs that are brand new, that weren't around, a couple hundred years ago. They think they got new wisdom on human sexuality, that human sexuality is what people make it out to be. They think that there are, 52 whatever genders there are, and sexual orientations are normal. Like you see all this crazy stuff that takes place around us, and that's why it's important that we don't just build on the human knowledge, human wisdom, because human wisdom ain't going to matter in the eternal realm. So just something to think about when you are thinking about human wisdom. And we'll catch up again later for our next study back in Jeremiah next week. And I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend. God bless.